visuals, and dare I say some voice lines from each of us that we could just play on a soundboard.
We're live.
Like, yeah, I agree with that, or absolutely not, no way, or something. I don't know, just some stock things.
No, I agree, 100%. Let me. Okay, like I said, I'm a little disorganized, so hello for those of you that are here. I'm trying to figure out how to get the chat up. I may have to do it on a separate device. Because normally I have 3 monitors going, and I only have 1 going right now. Yeah.
You are forgiven, considering everything that one has gone through currently. You're good.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Let me make sure that there's no cold read. Cold read is live, so that's a plus. Ooh. Magmorta, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Mags. Just to check, can you hear us and everything coming through?
Do. Hello, this is me testing to see if you can hear me.
Nice.
Hello.
Very nice. Don't forget to turn on your side audio. I'm also going to share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
I may have to actually wait until... Let me see how this works. Share screen. That's not what I want to share. Can I share... I love how you're just bopping around, by the way. Why is it doing this one?
I don't know.
I don't either. So it might make things difficult, because I need to be able to have you hear what is going on.
I don't know.
Weird voices, weird. Maybe if I don't know, but I need it for... Yep, I need it for that capture.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had 2 computers right now, because that would make things so much easier. Yeah, all good on audio. Thank you. Okay, that helps. That I think did it. So, one more thing to fix.
I also apologize for my neighbors. They are being extra loud and slamming doors currently, so hopefully it won't get picked up on audio. Yeah.
Can't hear it.
Okay, that's good.
You're good. You're good. Tune. Yeah, this one. Okay, so. Sorry for the late start. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. Ren, we're gonna hear noises because I'm gonna share my screen as I go. So,
okay.
Let's just try not to.
We'll figure it out.
How's
Seems
that
to be
gonna work in post? I'm sure Dorino can figure this out.
Dorino can find out.
Yeah, I know everything just went wonky because I minimized stuff to hit start recording, and things are still wonky. Oh, I know why.
Technical difficulties.
I have to do it. You have to do it like that? No, that just went different. Oh, I miss computers. Hey,
it's fine.
Close.
It's okay.
It's close.
We will. It's fine.
This is for blooper reels, I swear. Let's do that. That's close. Let me fix this. Oh, I swear we're somewhat professionals here.
We are. We are also people, Zamudi. And life does a thing, and sometimes Mother Nature decides bullshit. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Your squares are showing over that way now. Let me. Oh, this is just prime content right here. Oh my god. Woo.
This is great.
We need an award on this one, man. Woo.
Oh, oh my god. No, I'll save it for the update, but this is reminding me of Creation ModCon a little bit. And I'll explain in a minute.
Okay.
Don't worry. It's giving me don't worry. Just do not worry. Don't worry, yeah.
I'm allowed to worry, but I thank you for your concern.
It's fine. It's fine.
This is fine.
It's fine.
This is fine.
Everything is fine.
This is fine. This is me moving now that way, and then doing this, and doing that, and yay, we're locked in place.
Woo!
Now, am I going to be able to show stuff? I don't know. I
We'll
don't.
figure it out.
We'll find out in a second, because every time I click over here, okay, everything seems to be going okay. Yeah, it's good enough for government work.
Yep. Close enough for government work. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Intro by Renara. And hold on. Did I start my audio? It
You
wouldn't
told
have
me
really
to. I've
mattered.
done mine. Mine's going.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, test. Yeah, okay, good. 3. Okay, Dorino, from here. Let's go.
Hey everyone, Renara here. This week's intro is not going to be long, but it's an important one. What do we do when life demands command our attention, and you feel you have less and less time for voice acting? Many voice actors that we've interviewed here have said that they work full-time as a voice actor, and while that is the dream for many of us, for a lot of us, right now, it's not feasible. All 3 of us here on Cold Read work full-time, alongside voice acting. I myself am about to start a full-time apprenticeship that also has a school element to it, so I'm about to have a fraction of the amount of time I used to have. So, my advice is 3-part in total. 1. Prioritize. When your time is limited, every second becomes more valuable. So, equally, you need to then make a decision on what you need to prioritize. Be it the amount of auditions that you get done, or the projects that you may already have. And deem which ones are the most valuable to you to work on with the time that you have. Quantifying that value can take many forms. It can be which ones have the closest deadline. It could be the ones that you've spent the most time and energy on. It could be the ones that you enjoy the most. However you decide to determine that. For auditions, I'd advise to focus on, at max, 5 per week. And for projects, 2 at max. By no means does this mean put all of the other projects or auditions that you've got going on in the bin. No. They are simply on pause. Number 2. Be honest with your contacts. Work with your directors / project leads for each project or audition or whatever you're working on. Ensure that they understand your situation. And let those who aren't currently your priority know that it may take longer than expected. 9 times out of 10, they should be able to work with you. You will have that one, though, that may be far more rigid, especially if a large sum of money is involved. It is up to you to decide what to do with this situation. It may help form your quantifying process with point 1. And lastly, 3. Be honest with yourself. Self-deception is self-destruction. So properly sit down with yourself and be honest with what your limits and strengths are. Not what your family have said, not what your dad, your mum, your brother, sister, cousin, whatever they've said, not what they say, nor what all of your friends might say. Properly sit down, alone, and truthfully acknowledge what you are capable of, what your current capabilities are. In times like this, it is critical that you self-reflect and be honest with yourself about how much you can get done. There is no shame in this at all. It is simply being pragmatic. Some weeks are going to be a lot harder than others. Recognize those times and plan accordingly. I know you don't want to let anyone down, and you won't. The only way you could let anyone down is if you gave up on yourself. This is your journey. This is your path. No one else's. It's yours. So slow down. Look after your own. And when you have more time, expand accordingly. But slowly. You can do this. Auntie Ren believes in you. Cold Read believes in you. that random person on the internet that you don't even know who you've inspired believes in you. So now it's your turn to believe in you.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this in time. Welcome to Cold Read the Podcast, a podcast by voice actors for voice actors. That wonderfully inspiring introduction was by Renara. Thank you, Ren.
Is okay. I kind of also did it for myself a little bit, but it's also for everyone out there as well. So
Comments from YouTube. Priorities, aka adulting.
yeah.
This is very true. Magmorta says honesty as well during it, and facts also were typed in. So I agree with all of those. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you want us to talk about, please email us coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com or join our Discord. Come on over. We'd love to have you on board. Come in for the daily meme and go ahead and just get to know us. If you have any questions, we have a good network of support that we could probably direct those questions to and get you some sort of answer. Even Dorino has done some troubleshooting for those with audio troubles. Not that I'm offering Dorino services. I'm just saying that it's happened before, so come on by. Like today, the plan is we're going to listen to audio that's been put out. Some of it was dropped into our Discord. Some of it we are getting from other means online. So those are getting kind of a non-voluntary treatment when it comes to us listening to it. But we'll offer any feedback, hopefully, and get back to them because they're looking for feedback in their original posts. So yeah, with all of that rambling, let's go ahead and get started with our check-ins and make sure that everybody is okay. So Renara, how was your week? Hi.
I really need a different opener for that because I always just go because it's one of those things of things just sort of start like cancel each other out. What good thing I started playing Baldur's Gate. Bad thing I
okay.
haven't stopped playing Baldur's Gate. Good thing I got to properly see not MCM Comic Con, wrong thing. Creation ModCon and saw all of my stuff that I did for it implemented. People didn't like or were bored with the stuff that I gave them.
Shit. What?
Yeah. Not the people on the project, the audience. It was a bit of a weird. It felt weird for me because I did the for background information, I did the voice for all of the contest entries as well as judged the contest entries. But the feedback that Creation ModCon got really was everyone got really bored when suddenly I'm reading one of the contest things because all they want to see is what's been produced because everyone made videos for each one. But yeah.
But that's nothing on you. That's on because you're just doing what they told you to do. So
I mean, I offered to do it, and they said that would be great if you could, and then I did it. So
they know what not to do.
So I might be emceeing next year. So.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm still part of it. Like all of the crew and everyone are really like they still want me to stay on and everything, and they were like, just don't listen to the audience. And I was like going, okay. So that was a thing. But yeah, life is starting to have like time crunch bit now, and so I've had to really slim down what I can feasibly achieve.
Gotcha.
So I've had to really think on what I can currently do right now, and then when I've literally only got like a couple of weeks left until I then have like no time. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do and prioritize first before I start, and what ones can I then hopefully work with whilst I have very limited time. And I've done that, and great, but it doesn't help that now we've got an inspection of the house turning up around the same time that I need to get all of these done. So now I've now got even more on my plate, and the time that I wasn't meant to have more on my plate.
I see.
So it's a lot of mental load, I
Yeah.
think, is the main thing. And I'm trying to figure out what needs to be being done around the house, the garden, what I need to be doing for my voice acting, what I need to have prepped for when I start. And it's just a lot. and I'm very tired, and I've just come out of being a bit ill, and then there's just other stuff going on in the background, which is also making it just a little bit difficult. So I'm just sort of going, so today I have just played Baldur's Gate from morning till now, because I've had no time to rest this week. I play a half high elf sorcerer with heterochromia, because why the fuck not? It's awesome. It's great. I absolutely love the game. It's fucking amazing. It's so cool that I'm getting addicted to it, which is probably a bad thing, but oh well.
So within your busy schedule, you're going to find time for Baldur's Gate, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
good.
Yeah.
Good. No,
I think hey, it's called looking after yourself. It's called looking after yourself, all right?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, well, thank you, Renard.
How has your week been, Zamudi?
Well, actually, let me say this beforehand. Dorino, how? Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
You're,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So for those of you that
Yeah.
are listening only, El Dorino had something come up. He wasn't able to join us, so we hope for him, everything the best. He can get things taken care of, and he's going to be absent this week, so he gets the eyeballs.
He gets the eyeballs.
Which is we've all been sharing at this point.
We've all had the eyeballs at some point now.
Yes,
So.
yes. So this is me coming back. I've been away for about 3 weeks now, and this was due to we took a break 3 weeks ago, and then we had the storm last week, where I literally had to take apart all of the expensive stuff and move it to higher ground just in case, because this was being forecasted as a hurricane landing in Southern California. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it was something. It was an interesting experience. It was not as bad as everybody thought. So no flooding down here, thankfully. I mean, it got very close to causing somewhat of an issue, kind of just like flooding the carpet, but it never got to the point where it's like going to completely gush over. So in that aspect, it's good. But the problem is, I took everything apart.
Yeah.
And it's not
Because
easy
it
to
was
put it back together.
No.
No.
So forgive the technical issues that we may be having.
Yes. So
basically.
yeah, and I'm being a little loud, and I'm coming out of your headphones for those of you that are listening live.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. In addition to all of that mess, so that was last week, and I'm still putting stuff together. My regular computer is still upstairs, which is generally the one that I use to project and play and do other stuff with. I've now been very comfortable because I have a recliner up there, and I got a big TV, and it's like, now I'm playing Baldur's Gate. And it is a wonderful game. It is so well voice acted.
It's amazing.
So far, and again, I can't spoil, but if you can speak to animals, and this game, and the voices that they've picked for the animals is so good.
The owlbear. The owlbear. The owlbear.
Act 2 has somebody very interesting, but I'm not going to spoil.
I just really want to say really quick of that. I have already found where they've done retakes, because I found a moment in there where the audio quality changes.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because as voice actors, we're going to listen to that stuff.
I know.
And we're going to hear that hiss or change, and
Yeah.
I switched mics, or it was a different recording day, or I had to go to a different studio. We can totally tell. I do this with audiobooks too, and it's so annoying.
Yeah. Poor Halson, but yeah.
Yeah. So in addition to that, we're coming up on 2 weeks before our performance. 2 weeks from today, actually. Our final performance for the review that we've been working on. So it's crunch time with that. There is some technical tricks that we're doing, basically that I'm doing. So I've been playing with Premiere, and I've been putting stuff together that's going to be displayed as the show is going. So I've been a busy person. Voice acting wise, because this is really the only reason that somebody would listen to us and want to know what's going on. I did a project. Somebody approached me to do a GTA 5 machinima. Normally I wouldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
But in all honesty, I hadn't done acting, and I have not been able to get in the booth because nothing was put together. Then I went for it, and it was a fun little experience. I play a lawyer. The channel's got about...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right? The channel's got a good amount of subscribers. And so this is very good. Did you see that? That's again technical difficulties.
Okay. I didn't see it.
If you're curious what's happening in YouTube, one of my lights just went off and then we came back on. So it's a lot of fun. Right? Don't start with me. I got Bob back here. Bob's the one who's going to protect me from that stuff.
Of course, absolutely.
I did some stuff for Star Wars too, and looks like that's
yeah.
starting to pick back up. So I did some pickups for them, and they want me for another comic and then another project afterwards. So I'm gonna get to reprise my role as Luke. It's always a lot of fun to be able to do something like that. Mark Hamill's a big idol of mine. You know, I've been following him, and I super enjoy it. And I'm sorry this is taking so long because I've got 3 weeks worth of stuff to be able to catch up on. Also for those, I've been having some health issues, so I have not been to work. I am coming back next week to work, so that's going to be interesting, and eat up more of my time. So, we'll see what happens. So, yeah. I know. So here we are, Dorino, to you. We're going to drink some water, or I'm going to drink some water here. I think Renara doesn't have any. Love it.
Usually I have a bottle of Coke here somewhere.
You have a
but not
bottle of
today.
something over. Usually you take the label off, which is hilarious. I never know what it is.
No, okay, right. I'm gonna address this right now. The reason why I don't have a label on the Coke bottles is because Grim and I both like to drink Coke. However, we are very territorial over the drinks that we have. So to differentiate, I take the labels off of mine so he doesn't end up drinking all of my Coke. Okay, that's how we figure it out. All right. That's why it doesn't have a label, okay? Sorted. Continue.
Okay. You're both adults, right? Last I checked. I mean, never mind. You know what? Never mind.
Technically yes, but like mental age, we beg to differ on that one.
Wow. Okay. The ghost disagrees. That's why that light just went off again.
Oh. I'll have words with the ghost afterwards then.
Okay, so I'm sorry, and again I'm a little scatterbrained because we're still getting
It's all live.
This is the live part. This is what you're missing when you come by and you watch what's going on.
Indeed. You get to see all of this shenanigans.
Right.
Us losing our minds.
Very
As per usual.
So I'm gonna bring up. So what today's plan is as we mentioned is we're gonna listen to audio review stuff. The first thing that we have on the docket, and yours is from July 3rd. So it's July 23rd. Eldorino posted Prima, the Prima demo reel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it up for just a second. Hopefully I'll stop it before it does any actual playing, and. Probably shouldn't have done that because I don't want to break anything.
I understand that some of you...
Okay, well, I'm sure that came through already on our side. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Oh, it's doing that thing again.
Due to bullshit.
Jeepers. Okay, Renara, do me a favor. Play it when I tell you to play it. Do you know where it is?
We are professional, guys. We're just scatterbrained as hell today, okay?
It's not even that we're scatterbrained about it. It's like I said, had I had everything together the way I wanted to. Hey, hold on.
What?
It just did a thing. It just did a thing.
Oh! Aha!
Aha. Let me change that because your camera just went weird.
Oh no!
Hold on. I can fix this.
Holding.
I can fix this.
Holding. Holding.
Haha. Yes! We are so scuffed today. This is good.
We
this
are.
Is fun.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
so now everybody should be able to hear this.
Wonderful.
Right? Try not to block this camera. Okay. This is Prima's demo reel. You're in, right? You join my screen?
I'm in.
Okay.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
I understand that some of you are still weary of my abilities, but know this. We are the same flesh and bone. We have the same enemy, and we must slaughter these beasts before our town is destroyed. Hey, Sergeant, you sign off on this? You know how many details your guys missed? I didn't realize I was working with amateurs here. Get it together, get back in there, and get it Right. Oh, my stars. You are not going to believe this, but I seem to have forgotten my cash. I am so very sorry, sir. If I may say so, you have the most gorgeous eyes I have ever seen. You would have me force my people into hospice? This is not a sickness that can be treated. This is the gods letting the embers of spite fall upon our heads, hoping that we end ourselves. I move that we fight fire with fire. Okay, everyone, just a reminder, we do not feed chips to the cat. Yes, I'll tie your shoe. Samson, stop putting cereal in the fish tank. There you go, darling. Bus is here, time to go. I know you're not talking to me because you want to. You don't think I see the way you people look at me or hear the way you talk about me? Just because I don't talk very much doesn't mean I don't listen. So, again, what do you want?
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna stop. No.
Yeah.
My initial reaction when I first heard that was that the first two characters didn't fit the voice. I
Okay.
didn't feel like I couldn't. The voice, their voice, to me, didn't. It was missing. It wasn't that it was missing anything. The acting was good. It just didn't fit for the archetypes for the first two. I don't think it didn't give. I didn't get the gravitas of a brave hero with the first one. It felt a little bit weak in the
Right.
sense of, it felt like, in my head, I couldn't imagine that voice fitting with that type of character. However, from the third one onwards, they fit great, and the cat one had us both laughing. And I
Right,
think that's
yeah.
their strongest one. Actually,
Agreed. 100%.
I think that, yeah. Maybe think they might have put those first two to lead us into those other ones to have that contrast, perhaps. I think it maybe. But I do think the latter three fit the character well enough. The voice fit the character, and I felt the cohesion, and I could imagine the scene, and it felt right.
Mhm.
I think for the first two, there needs to be a lot more diaphragm. I think there needs to be a lot more projection and gravitas and authority with those two characters, because from what I can remember, because it goes by very quickly, you've got this person who's standing like forward and giving a big speech, and it felt a little bit weak in that regard. The character didn't feel like they were able to command that attention at the minute. So
Right.
I think I have no problem with them wanting to do that, but I think if they want to give that character a bit more justice, because a lot of their voices were quite samey, and that's fine.
Mhm.
I think more dynamic range with the first two would command the attention of the listeners more so, and then give that contrast to the funny character, which I think is their bread and butter, I feel, or at least it feels that way.
Right. I agree.
So I think really I would focus on those for the first two and try to emulate that gravitas, that seriousness, and maybe try to not smooth out the voice, but try not to push it through the nose as much.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm hearing, that their natural way of speaking gets pushed through the nose, and it with American accents that tends to happen, and I think that's quite well. I found when I've been doing the American accent, it goes kind of, especially when you're doing like the Valley Girl stuff and having that little bit of sass sort of in the background, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. I'm just
Yes.
okay. I get what you're saying. And first off, the Magmorta says no real variation other than inflection, and
Yeah.
and this is absolutely true. I'll be completely honest. It felt to me like you're dropping the same character into into different situations. So it's like you're not showcasing what your range is. You're literally doing
Yeah.
the same range in a different scenario in each particular take. I agree with Renar. It didn't exactly fit on the first or the second one, in my opinion. I loved the cat one. There was from then on in, the situations absolutely fit the voice without a problem.
Yes.
I would much rather hear how you would portray a stronger villainish type of character, or a stronger like the second one was all about command and getting this absolutely done. In order to portray that not just in the acting, but in the voice as well. I think that needed to be just a tad bit stronger. And again, in my opinion, grain of salt.
Yeah.
The other ones were great. I just wish there was more variation in the whole demo.
I think also there is I did like how the scenes were set up, in the sense of a lot was done in a short space of time, and I think whether they wrote it themselves or they outsourced, whoever wrote it did a good job, I think. And we're not commenting on the acting really, because I think we've both said that the acting is pretty good.
Yep.
But it just there needs to be some variation and changes on perhaps not necessarily texture, but different placements of the voice to
Yes.
help bring different essences, I guess it is, because the voice is fine. It's just there needs to be more change tuning into that character and the scene, rather than it just being their voice and the way that this person portrays their voice to
You're showing
read the script.
Yeah, you're showing great potential when it comes to acting.
Absolutely.
But I don't feel that you're showing the range in your voice.
Yes.
That's how
it.
that's how I'm portraying it. That's how I'm interpreting your particular
Yeah.
demo. If you would have an opportunity, I would say start there. There is a lot of good YouTube videos about voice placement, like Renara has talked about. You go, if you want to sound younger, you generally tend to pitch up your voice a little bit. If you want to sound, more menacing, you tend to go lower and lower, and until you get something to show that. Don't be afraid to play with your voice a little more.
And one tiny thing, I definitely think they could do a really snide villain, like a
Oh,
really
100%.
snide villain, or like just this evil scientist sort of like type individual. If that put like a male version or non-binary version of Yzma, this immediately where my brain went. I think they could do that. I think they could do that really well, and I would absolutely love to hear a possible rendition of that.
Yeah.
So.
And again, I completely agree. I like I said, I loved it. Your voice is great. I just wish there was a little bit more different variations. I could hear like different. To me, it's like you put the same person in different places.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So again, Prima, thank you for allowing us. Eldorino, thanks
Thank
for
you very
putting
much,
yeah
yes.
for putting that forward. The next one we're going to listen to will be Benjamin
Oh yeah.
Mons. Oh gosh.
Benjamin Mans Mardi. We had
Mans
him
Mardi.
on Cold Read.
Yeah. That's just I forget how to say last names. This one I'm just gonna play. This one I'm just gonna play from the audio. So here we go. We don't no
Okay.
weird things to happen here. Right.
You're mine! Oh, damn it! How could I have been so careless? Focus. I've got to get out of here. Fast! You can do this. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Can you believe what we just did? We step out of a time portal and end up in a medieval market. I thought we were aiming for a fancy restaurant. This is so not what I had in mind for date night. What's happening to me? These changes, this power. It's consuming me, tearing me apart. Is this my fate? To be a monster? I just want it to stop. Damn it! I poured my heart into this song, and it's just not coming together. Dude, you gotta fix this. Welcome to my twisted realm, where pain and pleasure intertwine. In this world of greed, power is my weapon, and books are my sanctuary. Oi! Get out of my way, you lazy lot! I'm digging here for me fortune, you know! You want to share the wealth? Or you're just gonna keep staring like a bunch of gawkers? Did you know that you can visit your neighbors to get more animal feed? Invite some now!
What was
Wait,
that? Was what?
Were we saying that you can feed your neighbors to animals?
It's like we got a mini commercial at the end of that or something. Oh,
Okay, so there's a lot
You
to
go first.
unpack here. Again, the first couple of them didn't really feel like there was much variation within the voice. You go into from this escape scene immediately into the portal. I thought they were connected for a second, and then I
Same.
realized that they're actually two different scenes that they're trying to put together. Benjamin, your American accent, dear God, that caught me by surprise. It's like that was good. And I love to
I
be
was
able
gonna
to
say
hear
good.
accents because that shows where your range is. You transform me into the monster talking from one to the other, I think was done very well. You confuse the hell out of us, and trust me, that leaves us in a very memorable way with the
Yes.
last one, which it's a very interesting idea, and I may have to steal that if at any point I have a character reel that I've been wanting to do with Dorino. That's an awesome idea because you're gonna leave them thinking, what the hell was that? But
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Production wise, I think it was good. I think the music was great. Even Magmorta says proper panic, which was the
Yeah.
I could tell that you actually were doing the movements which was what we highly encourage. So absolutely well done, Benjamin. Like I said, those first two, if we could, if you could not learn, but if you could separate them somehow, I think that would be more ideal. That's my opinion.
I kind of agree in the sense of I didn't know that they were. The only reason I knew that the first and the second were two different is because he went from British accent to German accent, and
Okay.
I literally went, "Oh, I'm in Baldur's Gate again," because it felt like I had so many different characters thrown at me in such quick succession that I felt like, "Whoa, okay, hello." I do agree that I think there needs to. It depends on if that was what you were going for. If you were trying to go for it to seamlessly work together, you did that. If not, I think it might be good to have a bit more of a severance, just so that there isn't that confusion. I agree with Zamudi with that. I absolutely loved all of the action sounds and all of the acting in the booth and everything, because it shows your versatility. It shows that you're able to do these things for video games, which is something that in every video game you're going to do. So highlighting that in a show reel is, I think, vital for video game reels. It was brilliant that we got to see different variations, we got actions, and we got changing into a werewolf. At least that's what I put down in my notes, or changing into monsters, because again, it shows the different types of actions you can portray. I love it. I'm a Foley person, it's just me. That was the most accents I've heard in a demo reel so far, I think.
Yes.
Or the most varied accent jump, because a lot of people from other demo reels I've heard, they have similar accents that are easy to slip from one to the other next to each other or around. These ones jumped all over the shop, and it was a lovely roller coaster. And I agree, it left us at the end kind of going, whoa, what happened? And the end bit was like, was that you trying to sneak in as like, I can do commercials as well?
Yeah, maybe.
Because it was like, it almost encompassed absolutely everything. And please tell me who wrote that. I would love to work with them for my updated demo reel, because that was amazing. I really want to know who did that. I don't have that many notes other than the first bit, really.
Whoop. Sorry about that.
And it works very well for a video game demo reel. For a character reel, I don't think it would work as well. I think for a character reel, we're not with if I had to be nitpicky on this, really nitpicky, each scene didn't really have that much of a narrative in it. We didn't know I think the first one was good, but it was, oh no, I'm being attacked, run, and out. A couple of them were, I think there is possible scope for more if you're going character reel direction, if you want to work on other reels for that. But for video games, this hit the nail on the head squarely, and I think it was brilliant.
Good. I like that. I like what you said. And also Magmorta says borrowing ideas. Hollywood does that all the time. In regards to taking the last one as a weird one. I absolutely 100% agree. 100% agree. Okay. Benjamin, I hope you enjoyed it. If you watch this, I know we're a little late on getting back to you. Only a month, but that's just because we try to get things together, and then 3 weeks ago would have been different, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for submitting that. And again, if you have an opportunity and you have something that you want us to listen to, please feel free. Either you can drop it in the Discord. We have a whole area just called audio review, or you could email it to us at codebreathepodcast@gmail.com. I have switched my sharing screen.
I'm still seeing what I
you're
need to
still-
see. Things are working.
You see browser. You see a commercial.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Alan Tuin, and this is now coming from Reddit. Posted one in SoundCloud.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take a quick listen.
He's the reason I go for long walks and the reason I take Sunday afternoon naps. He's the highlight of my mornings before work and the source of my excitement in the evenings.
Hold on, you're muted. I can't hear you, Renara.
I can't hear it. Sorry.
It's not coming through?
It's not coming through my end. Sorry.
Wonder why.
Technical difficulties. Try again.
Do me a favor, check to make sure that you don't have that screen muted.
I really don't. It's
So
I
you right
don't
click
know
on
how
the
to.
screen.
Yeah, it's not muted.
It's not muted. Let me stop sharing and then reshare it again. Now that I figured out
name.
how to fix that part.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let's see if we can figure this out real quick. Audio wise, I know you guys could hear it. You may not be able to hear it, Dorino. So
If I have to, I'll find it on the thingy and we'll do it. Eldorino can cut this out. It's fine. It's okay.
okay.
We're all
Can
good.
okay.
Yes, I can hear it now.
He's
Okay,
the reason.
excellent. All right, 3, 2.
He's-
Okay. Stop it. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
He's the reason I go for long walks and the reason I take Sunday afternoon naps. He's the highlight of my mornings before work and the source of my excitement in the evenings. He loves me unconditionally. For all that and more, I feed my dog Nature's Special Menu all natural dog food with no artificial color. For every one of us who has a shelter over our heads, there are 4 people who are without even the basic necessities due to events beyond their control, such as hurricanes, earthquakes, landslides, and other weather-related disasters. Disasters strike, catastrophes happen, but families don't have to suffer, and you can make a difference. Introducing Weequilibrium, a productivity app that seamlessly brings together your personal and professional goals into a streamlined schedule that puts your dreams realty. Through Renting Rooms Realty, you can earn your landlord license and connect with local landlords in your area to help you vet prospective tenants. We're empowering the everyday homeowner to become an extraordinary landlord. Visit rentingroomsrealty.com for more information.
Okay, that's it for
The
that one.
IHN believes
Whoa,
reflecting
why is
on
it doing
errors,
more?
asking
Hold
how
on,
they
why are
happen
you
and
doing
what
more?
others can
Stop it.
No!
I had to close it. I had to close it. There's no way around it. Okay,
Now,
I started last time. I'll let you start this time.
so I found the fade outs to be a little weird.
Yes.
It threw me. It felt like, oh, hang on a minute, wait a second. If that made it, that's the feeling I got when the fade outs happened. There was no natural end, and I think you need a crisp cutoff for each one because it just feels like it's when I say unfinished, it just feels like, oh, nah. I'm not sure how to explain that. It did
No.
feel like, oh, it's getting away from me now. Okay, I guess I shouldn't really pay attention. I'll move on to the next one if that makes sense. So the voice, now I know it's for commercial, and I know commercials have a certain, they don't want as much character for commercials, but the voice was pretty samey all the way through, mostly in energy. And what I mean by that is that I didn't feel there was as much of a shift between your first one and the one that was meant to be a heartfelt, like, what would you do if a child was right in front of you type commercial, like one of those Save the Children commercials. And there wasn't that much of a difference other than perhaps a slightly softer voice and sort of speaking more intimately to the microphone. I think there needs to be more variations in energy. I think I can't quite remember because it goes too fast sometimes for my brain to take in, but there was one bit, I think it was like normal, sad, one that could have been done with a bit more energy, and then a loyal one, I think, or something. I'm sorry. Either way, they all felt very samey, and I think there's scope and space for there to be a little bit, just a tiny bit more oomph behind each one, because I want you to sell me the things that you're talking about. I don't want you to be, it feels a bit more like bit too calm, and I don't. It's not that I don't want to listen. The fade outs kind of make me not want to take it as seriously as it probably is meant to be conveyed, if that makes sense, at least for the script. The voice is good for commercials. I think he's got a very clean, smooth, lovely voice. But I think we need a bit more energy, a bit more varying degrees of dynamicism. I'm making up words today, Zamudi.
Dynamicles.
Dynamicles.
Yes.
But yeah, I do, especially for the slightly sadder one. I want you to tug at my heartstrings, not sound like you're reading it from a book.
Okay, so again, I apologize.
Sense.
I just looked down at the comments, and it's like Magmorta says, fade outs felt a bit like, ooh, squirrel.
Yes, thank you. That puts it. Yes, it did feel very sort of. Oh, okay, all right, bye.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and give my 2 cents. I agree that the fade out, fade in was very distracting. I feel like these should always have a very clear beginning, a very clear end. Even if you want to like throw a static in the middle of it, which is kind of like a, at least that'll give me time to cleanse my ear palate, if that's a weird way of saying that, in order to jump into the next one. I felt like you would do better if you did have these varied a little more. The voice was exactly the same for all 3 of them, and you say that as commercial for advertising. Every audition that I've seen for commercial advertising, they're literally telling you, talk like you're talking to your best friend, talk like you're talking to somebody on the street. They don't want the overly dramatic, or not the overly dramatic, but like the you are listening to blah 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 type of voice,
like movie theater,
right?
Like movie trailer thing. Yeah, they don't want that.
I would see that more in a corporate one, in a training one for sure, than I would for a commercial one. In my opinion, you generally you see those announcery type of voice in that, or even in the narration one. And I know there's 2 other demos. We'll come back to this if we can, but I think with those, at the very least, that gives you a good idea of where to work with. Because if you're selling me on something that's sad, give me a sadder voice. Don't give me the because in all honesty, and I've been told that I do this too. You sounded like AI.
Oh no.
In my opinion, you sound, and again, that's feedback that I've gotten too. And
I mean, fair.
Yeah, and that's, I feel like that's something that I also need to work, because when I'm reading, it's like, okay, this is what this says, type of situation.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel sad about what he's talking about. That's why we're not feeling that part. I think there's if that makes sense. It feels like we've got a softer voice because we're implying sort of that sadness, but I don't feel that he's actually genuinely upset about what he's talking about. And I think that might be what's missing. I think that's what we mean by the energy. I think when you're doing advertising, a lot of people like with influencers, they like most of them like the product that they're advertising, and they want you to have this product because they think it's great. Or or people on YouTube will say, oh, don't use these guys, they're awful because of X, Y, and Z, or whatever, and you feel that because they personally believe that themselves. And even if you don't necessarily believe what the commercial is, you've got to put yourself into the character of somebody who does think that is either sad or exciting or fearful, or even, or for example, if you're doing an advertisement for alcohol, you love this drink, you want other people to like that drink too. So if you can emulate and feel the core of what the advertisement is portraying, we're going to believe that through your voice.
I like that.
So I think that's what's missing. I think the voice is great for like just your standard voice. What you're using is great for commercial, but we need to believe it now. I think that's the bit that I think will elevate it to the next step, because I think it will then hit all of the other points that we've talked about.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So, and again, you go under UC Recruiter. I think it was Alan 2 in for in the voice in the SoundCloud. So, hopefully we'll get back to you, and we will try to. That's the wrong mouse. try to convey that to you. The next one here is from Ocean Amethyst. Is that?
Oh, I like the name.
Gonna be frank, demo reel's not the best, I'd say so. How can I improve? Can you guys help me? Okay, I'm gonna play the first one, which is actually this is I think this one was downloaded, so let me see if I can now I
Let's
see.
have a look-see.
Yeah. Let's have a look see.
Let's see if the internet is going to behave itself today. And
Well,
will it?
it's funny. I already had an outage, but thankfully not during this broadcast. But it's been an interesting day.
Oh, don't talk to me about power outages. That one, the one that I was part of, will haunt me for the rest of my damn life.
You know what? And real quick, let me tell you a side story. During the storm itself, we did have one big power outage. It was literally
Right.
we were just sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear this boom in the background, and everything just like goes dark. So we're just
Oh
listening,
God!
we're kind of like just sitting there going, and then like
No.
3 minutes later, the lights kind of just come back on. What happened is a transformer blew, and it takes a while
Right.
for everything to reroute. It was just so weird because everybody in the house, regardless of where you were during that storm, we all heard it, and we're all like, "What just happened?"
Thor went nope,
Yeah.
and accidentally blew the transformer.
Okay, let's go ahead and listen to this character reel again. This is from Ocean Amethyst.
Amethyst.
Ooh, here we go.
That's the problem with your type. So trusting. Your naivety always leads to your downfall. Set aside your differences and work together, or else you will suffer the same fate as our planet.
Guys, I don't think this is a good idea. Guys? Oh no. Guys, hang in there!
Oh, and then we throw them off the cliff. For a second, you had me thinking we weren't gonna send anyone skydiving.
And there's the end.
Right. Okay. You go first this time because I went first last time.
So the opening and the closing voice sounded way too similar for me, especially for them to be, again, your opener and your closer. You want to make sure that there's, again, this seems to be an ongoing theme for what I'm talking about today, is you want to have a lot of variation. You want to be able to show what range you have in the characters that you can play. You're putting this forward as a demo reel. I'm looking at it as a character. I can tell, you had the smaller voices, and then I heard the little kid, I'm assuming I'm going to just gender a little boy voice. And then again, to the playful kind of like, evil, cutesy type of thing. And there was an overall theme when it comes to everybody was evil. I would love to hear something when it comes to, so it was like evil, somewhat evil, scared, evil again. Give me some happy characters. Give me a little bit send me on a bigger ride, is what I want to say.
I think, and to tack onto that, I think there's not enough. There aren't enough characters in this demo reel. I think they could definitely go with. I think the standard usually is about 6 at a minimum.
6
at
to
least
7,
that's
yes.
what 6 to 7. I definitely agree with the first. The first 2 were too samey. I feel that this high-pitched voice is your comfort voice. This is the one that you're very good with in your wheelhouse, and you want to put that forward. But if you're going to do that, I felt that you weren't using your diaphragm at all. And there was a moment where, I think in the third one, where you then were about to shout but didn't commit to the shout. And I think that possibly this might be to do with the type of mic that you have, because the audio quality sounded different. And when I say different, I don't know if it's an XLR or a USB, but it did sound that perhaps you might be in a room or where you record isn't as treated, so you get reverb, which is why you didn't shout. This is what, again, I am purely hypothesizing here, because it's the same way as what I was like before I had my box. and everything. And so you're afraid that when you do, yes, whenever I talk about my box, I'm going to touch it, Samudi. It is almost ritual.
It's the order that you always. It's for, and because I've got your camera in a particular way. For me, it's always like up, right, left, down. It's like you're always doing this. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I definitely think that I would love to know what your setup is, because once we know what your setup is, we can then help figure out what would be the best options for you in regards of sound treatment, because I feel that might be what's stopping you. Because, well, I would love to hear what it sounds like when you shout into the microphone first and foremost, because when everyone does it, it can be very different, and we've got a very huge network here we have helped everyone out. I've been helped with mine. I've helped other people. Samudi's helped Eldarino's helped everyone. We know, I'm going to be bold and say I think we know what we're talking about when it comes to soundproofing, at the very least.
Yeah.
I think once that power comes through, more voices will open up, and I think perhaps more variation of characters, because I thought the first one was a fairy, to be perfectly honest, because whenever I hear that type of high-pitched sort of voice, I always immediately think fairy psychic, but it might be like evil fairy psychic, maybe. I liked the drop to what seemingly is your lower voice. I think I would love to hear a bit more around there, and perhaps strengthen that area of your voice, because we can already tell you can do high. That's great. But can you do high without shoving it through your nose, is what I'd like to say. Like, can you talk up here rather than doing it like this? If that makes any sense. I'd like to know. I'm just intrigued, because it's done the job of, I'm intrigued about this voice actor, but I want to know if they can do more than what they've put through. And I think they have. I don't think it's bad if this is your first one. I think this is all right for your first one, but it definitely, I think, could be expanded on, and I definitely think you can showcase more in it.
Agreed. The music was an interesting little flavor too. It was a little lower, and again, normally I would say make sure the voice is forward. It was kind of, I don't know. I wanted to be a little bit more fitting the particular area volume wise, because it was kind of like your voice is front and center is great, but the music was still kind of there, maybe even getting more in the way than I would want it to. Okay, so Magmorta says villain voice is little childish unless it was intended to be. I think it was kind of a playful little. So I completely am going to say that was definitely intended. But like Renara said, I want to hear different voices. I want to hear where like I said, the first and the last one were way too similar for me. I would have loved to have heard another strong voice at the end. And I think the deeper voice is good. End with that one if you don't have much to showcase. But don't start me and end me with a similar thing. And
one tiny thing is, when it comes to shouting, and when it comes to, because again, I've said it on if it's the noise floor or noise sound of things, but if it is a diaphragm issue or you're finding it difficult to put that power behind, I would really advise looking up singing exercises to strengthen your diaphragm area, so that you learn how to utilize that to push that power out, to shout without hurting your voice. Because I know for a lot of people, well, if Eldarino was here, he'd give an entire sermon on how to, but he's not.
Dorino, we expect to see in the comments a complete sermon in regards to shouting.
No, it's
Make
okay.
it happen.
But if that's the case, I would recommend looking up singing exercises, breathing exercises, to help at least for you to know in the body where to start to give you that power.
Okay.
If it's the noiseful thing, but yeah.
And I like the path that you're taking, because it's entirely possible that the screaming itself, either you didn't want to wake anybody up, or you were afraid that your neighbors were going to call somebody or something to that effect. Something was holding. And yeah, we all have had that. Honestly, happen already. If that's where your fear is, then there's ways of dealing with it. Let people know, hey, I'm doing voice acting things. If you hear weird stuff coming out of my house, and then here's where to hire me. This is important. So this is how you network. Exactly. Or if it's like you're afraid that you're going to peak your mic. It's a situation where you can do it, and the mic's over here, and you can yell a lot more without trying to peek it too much because you're not going directly
Yeah.
into the mic. And then
Or
there's
doing it
software.
sideways.
Right. And yeah, and so I mean that's essentially what this is. It just you go sideways and it muffles it.
Yeah.
But you can't be afraid because if you try to do that, type of shouting without shouting, it's very obvious. And this is in general. I'm not talking about, I mean, the demo had it a little bit, but in general, when it comes to shouting itself, if you're trying to do a fake shout, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Very cool. Thank you.
Nice.
We're going to
Thank
move
you.
on to the next person. It is Mike De La Morte. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm assuming you can see this one up on the screen,
Yep.
Renara? Okay.
Yep. Test play.
Test play?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I got him, boss! Good boy, Hector. No place left to run, Wolvo. Give up your ship, and we won't turn you into paste. Blah! Who dares disturb the sanctity of Castle Dracula?
Wait, master. It's the delivery guy. I got you your favorite.
Blood sausage and pepper pizza! With garlic? Grandpa, this is crazy. You're gonna get yourself killed. Those blasted time bandits have your grandmother. I know! There's gotta be some other way. Take care of Rufus for me. I'll be back. I promise. Mr. Valare, I want to know what happened to my shipments.
We lost it, boss. We were attacked. And sitting in the bottom of the East River.
What?
Please don't shoot me. We did everything we
Okay. That's where that one stopped. I'm going to stop because it's going to keep playing something. Okay. Mike, did I start last time or did you start last time? I don't remember.
I can't remember. You go. It's
Okay. Loved it, honestly. It was really well done. I love that you're doing two characters at the same time. That's not something that I tend to hear very often. Generally, it's like one person. I think the characters were very varied. It was you could tell that it was two different, beings speaking to each other. Sound effects were placed in very well. The music was in, the Foley was in. I loved it. I absolutely loved it all. Let me also say that the variation was just on point, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I think every single scene was really well crafted, and it didn't take a lot of mental effort to imagine each of those scenes, which I think is important when you're making a demo reel, because you don't want the person listening to be mentally taxing trying to imagine these scenes. I fell into these scenes very easily, very naturally. I was initially concerned when I heard two voices, because I know before we've heard demos where people have tried to do that, and those voices are too samey that we couldn't really distinguish. These ones were were really good. We could tell the difference. I think the only one that I had a bit of a tiny moment was the one where I think the grandpa got zapped back into back in time
I think
or something.
it was a scientist situation.
Or
but
yeah. I think that one that was the only one that I felt was the closest to being similar, because it was, you put a texture on to make you sound older. But that's me being really nitpicky. The scenes were brilliantly crafted. It was really lovely and easy to listen to. There was clear separation for each scene. So as Zamudi said earlier, like, there was a brain reset, easy brain reset for each scene, so I could go into each one quite nicely. I don't really have anything on this one. It's a really good example for perhaps anyone, for those who are watching. I think this one is a really good example of how character demos should be. I think, honestly,
well,
that's my 2
in
cents
our
on it.
opinion. Absolutely.
Yes, that's what I said. In our opinion, or my opinion, our opinion. It's my 2 cents on the matter. It's the same sort of thing I've tried to do with my demo reel. So I feel a kinship / it resonates with me on that sort of level. It's a similar style, because there are different styles, and different people do different characters, and different people have a different wheelhouse. Each of those voices felt you were able to do them quite naturally, and that you could do them for a long period of time. In contrast to the previous one, the high pitched one felt that perhaps they could do it for a while, but it didn't feel as natural as these ones did, if that makes sense. Like I felt he could just do these ones for several hour sessions, and that's fine. I think that's important to showcase that your voices sound untaxed on your voice wherever they place.
Yeah, absolutely. I also would like to note the opinions of our co-hosts are that of them each by themselves. This in no way reflects as co-read the podcast in general. So we again, this is our ears. I haven't done any like casting. I know you have, Renara, when it comes to your projects, Dorino as well. I'll just like take anybody when it comes to my stuff. But keep in mind that this is kind of like so far the best in show when it comes to demo reels, in my opinion. Okay, I have Zira Rose. I hope I'm saying that right. Zyra.
Might be Zyra.
Tell us. We're not entirely sure.
Yeah, if you ever do listen to us, please let us know how to say the name. They go over Zyriela in Reddit. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Okay, let's take a listen.
Yeah.
No one's really seen the Tooth Fairy. Tommy Tulin said he did, but he's always fibbing. I tried to stay up one time, but sure enough, I fell asleep. J.K. Rowling is one of the most well-loved writers of this century, thanks to her immensely popular Harry Potter series. Writing has always been a passion for Rowling, but it took her years to make a living at it. There once was a beautiful princess who lived way up top of one of the steepest mountains. Once upon a time, the castle she had lived in had been a grand palace, full of light and beauty. When the queen died, everything changed. You think you can take my kingdom? That you can subjugate my citizens and defeat my warriors? You see me as just some mewing fawn that you can break like a twig? Fibromyalgia is one of the most common rheumatic syndromes in ambulatory general medicine. It affects approximately 3 to 10% of the general population. Though a cause has not been found, it has been proposed that depression, viral infections, and sleep disorders may be contributing factors. As his eyes swept across me, I felt my blood run cold. Part of me wanted to run, while part of me wanted to be nowhere more than exactly where I was at the moment.
Okay, that's as far as it goes. I'll let you start this time, Renara.
I have a fair bit. So right off the bat, it feels reedy to me. I feel you're reading from a script, and I don't feel you're playing a character for at least the first few of them. It felt a bit stiff, felt a little bit much. It didn't fit. The music did not fit for the energy of definitely for the second and third one. The music was far too. The music, I think, fit for the scene as written. Your voice and the energy you put behind it did not match that, so it felt a bit lacking in that department. The voice is very samey, very same power behind it, very wispy. And for the last 3, you did this thing where, as I think I talked about it earlier, where they've got ones similar in tonality that it did this thing where it went down in how much projection. It got wispier and wispier, especially with that last one. I think all of these scenes would benefit with more dynamic range within them, especially that warrior one. I felt you were just getting there. You were starting to get into it, but I think it needs to jump up a level in the energy department for all of these. You've got a very soft voice, I can tell, but I think the comments I made for Ocean's one about either noise room or your diaphragm apply here as well, in the sense of we need more projection in your voice. And I think it's a bit too breathy currently. I think once that breathiness, if you're going for breathy, that's fine, but it does still need to be supported by your diaphragm. Because there's a difference with me talking like this, and there's a difference with me talking like this, if that makes any sense. And I think, again, I was so rooting for that warrior one because I always love a good sort of sword wielding battle person, and I was like, you're almost there, you're so close, because it was leading up to the thing. I really think you could go into shouting with that one. If you're going to keep the script, I really think if you could play with that one a lot more. I want to feel that anger build. I want to hear that in your voice. You could end it with a shouter even, and I think that would leave people with a much more vivid memory in there, because it's about halfway through, I think. I think it's about halfway through.
Yeah, it was about the third one.
Yeah. So yeah, more projection. I think perhaps that whisper one is fine, but that should be the only soft one. And I think there needs to be more projection, at least with the first few. The sciencey one, the one talking, the commercial one, the tonality and how you read and the cadence behind your words were fine with that. I think that worked all right. But again, it was a bit too. The voice sounds unsure of itself in all of these.
Okay.
I feel like there's, and it's not a reflection on the person. I think the voice coming through gives me that feeling of unsurety.
It's like you can hear the shyness.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think even though you could be shy behind the microphone, having that projection eliminates it immediately. Because when people hear a projected voice, somewhere in the brain, they automatically feel like, oh, this person's confident in what they're saying, even when that person might not be. So honestly, if it's to do with either noise, your room, or the people around you, again, just stick a notice on the back on the door going, I'm a voice actor, you're gonna hear this. Deal with it.
Yeah.
and lock the door and do it.
And that was kind of the situation that I was thinking about too. It's again, are you concerned? Are you shy about somebody hearing what you're doing? I mean, a month and a half ago, Dorina was doing the same thing. We were shouting stuff you'd say in the battleground, and because this is for Spearhead 1944, and we were going like F this and incoming but I mean, we were doing it like if we were actually in the battlefield. You can't be afraid of that one. In that warrior scene, I will note that if the scene that I'm seeing, the visual that I got was you're sitting in the battlefield having tea with the person that you're talking to. Because I didn't feel like there was an anger or a rushness or you're out of breath or anything. And these are things that you have to think about. Is if your scene is set in a battlefield, you're going to be tired. You're going to be, you're going to have just exerted yourself, or throw a swing in there, or, feel the hatred for the person, or end with the scream. Ooh, I love that idea.
I also think as well, and this is a small structural thing, I think there needs to be just a tiny bit more of a break between each scene, because I think there was inconsistent breaks, I think, throughout that. Some had a slightly longer break than others. I think the one from the warrior into the next one after that, I don't think there's almost any break at all. So structurally, I think there needs to be just a tiny bit of more consistency between when each scene ends, because that's a little bit jarring to the ear. But that's a structural thing that can be dealt with in post, especially if you're doing it yourself. It's easy. You'll be fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's mainly it really from me.
Okay, we got one more to go, and I know we're already kind of running because we did start.
We can do this.
Late.
We can do this.
Definitely do this. Last one is going to be from. First off, we already said it. I can't say your name. I apologize. Spicy secret sauce. Oh, that's another good name. I absolutely love it. Okay, I'm gonna let you choose this one, Renar. I've got a narrative and we've got a commercial.
I'm always going to go narrative.
Narrative, explainer, demo. That's what this one goes at. So here we go.
Oh, explainer. Okay, explainer demo.
So the other one is commercial demo, and this one says narrative-explainer demo.
I'm intrigued as to what a narrative explainer demo is that's here.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Advanced Technology Incorporated and to the excitement and challenges of a growing business. As a new employee, your job is important to us. Your success is an important factor in the success of this company. This software is designed to offer you accurate information about company policies and procedures, benefit packages, performance reviews, and training and education. Hi, and welcome to our educational video on health and wellness. Today, we'll explore the intriguing world of human health and all its complexities. Did you know that if they were laid end to end, an adult human's blood vessels could circle Earth's equator 4 times? Or that the human heart beats over 3 billion times in an average lifetime? In our next segment, we visit individual stadiums and explore tales of the classic teams, legendary stars, and the devotion of the American baseball fan. First stop, Yankee Stadium, home of the team America loves to hate, and breeding ground for a host of superstars and legends. Back at the Hall of Fame in the World Series room, we explore the lives of ordinary men. Helping a client through their accident claim can be a difficult process. Not only is the client still in shock from their experience, they may also be awaiting their funds or payout. If a client calls and wants to know when their claim will be processed and when they will receive their funds, here are the steps you should take. First, you'll want to look into when the claim was processed. If the date field is blank, you'll want to search the database by claim number instead of customer name. This will pull up the exact result and ensure that duplicate entries don't exist. Welcome to Advanced Technology Incorporated and to the excitement and challenges of...
All right, so...
I'm confusion.
Okay, and again, keep in mind we're trying to I'm not trying to be mean when it comes to that particular one.
This is our constructive criticism and our analysis of each one and our interpretation for each. So
the reason
please
that
bear
we're
that in mind.
confused is because it was basically the same thing repetitively, which is kind of expected when it comes to an explainer demo. The problem is you were fading out. Again, not having a definitive end on one, so it kind of sounded like one continuous thing over the whole thing. So there really, again, no variation when it comes to, even if you're talking about different things, I think there has to be a way of differentiating from one to another. You would benefit with a little bit of music in the background too. You've got a lovely voice, you really do. You're just doing it in the same way that it just turns into a monotonous demo. Honestly, you didn't need all the other ones because you were doing the same thing as one. Try to find a way to separate those two. If you're just talking about technical stuff, and then if you do maybe like a doctor one, you can be a little bit peppy and you can be kind of monotone and you can be, you can add a little bit of emotion, just not over the top, my opinion.
I agree with that in the sense of I agree with all of that. I think what I get the feeling of is that he wants to showcase that he can read different subject matters. And I think that was the process. But I think what needs to happen then, if you're trying to portray that, is we need to have such variation with the subject matter. So if you're doing a medical one, I want to hear that you can say all of that medical jargon flawlessly. I think that would show it. If you're showcasing your ability to read different types of books, be it factual or story, showcase different, when I say styles, you know what I mean when you pick up one book maybe perhaps about, I don't know, tarot cards, and one about medicine. There's different ways that these books are written, and I, for one, cannot read medical journals or medical books because I stumble on all of those words. If through this sort of narrative explainer thing, if you're trying to show that you can do all of these different styles of literature flawlessly, I think that's the way to go. And Shakespeare, if you really want to showcase that, perhaps an English book talking about Shakespeare where you can then quote a bit of Shakespeare to show that you can then switch into a different reading pattern, literally a different written, grammatically different written style. I think because we've just got the similar types of words and the subject matter's just only slightly changed and there's no inflection, it does sound a bit like when you're in a film and they're reading a book and the book's too long and they do those fade cuts to later on in the story. That's what I got from this.
That's a good way of putting it. Magmorta also said fade out squirrels.
Yeah, fade out squirrels.
We're not going to call that. You've coined a term.
I agree that music. Yes. I agree that music, if you're still wanting to go with how you've done this, music would help split that up. And I think get rid of the fade outs. Really get rid of the fade outs. They are distracting in my opinion. Have it end and then this music starts and then we're listening to something else. if it's not music, maybe even sound effects of perhaps similar things. For example, if you're reading a book perhaps about gardening, some nice like ambience in the background for people to then tune into the subject matter. And then if it may not be realistic, but in regards to how much taxing of the brain it takes to imagine or visualize things, it helps guide that.
Yes.
So if you really don't want to add music and you feel that would detract from it, perhaps think of some small sound effects that could help the listener distinguish from one subject matter to the other,
Yes,
to the next, if you want to showcase that. This is the first narrative explainer intro, like demo, I've ever heard, so I don't technically have anything to base my sort of like, this is just me basing it off of other demo reels I've heard that
Yes.
aren't this.
Yes.
So I'm just sort of coming from a literature standpoint because it's narrative, so it's talking about narration. So the way to vary that is to show read different styles of writing.
I like
Don't have the same style of writing because then we don't see the difference, if that makes sense.
You know, I love that your point when it comes to medical. When it comes to medical explainer videos, there are so many technical words that if you can show that off, for sure do it. Because I don't feel like, especially when I try to do them, because it comes up a lot that they want them in Spanish. I am not good at saying Spanish medical terms, so I lean away from those. If you have that ability, that would be a great thing to put in an explainer demo, 100%. And I like the way that you're saying this because, yeah, a technical, let's go with a simple thing. A stereo instruction video would be very different from a medical one, which would be very different from a gardening one. I like Renara's idea here, but just make sure that you're ending on a sentence. Show me that you know how to end a sentence without it fading out. And I think you're going to be in good shape. Again, voice-wise, it's great. It's just you need to fine-tune that particular one, secret sauce. Spicy.
Because I was listening to what he was saying.
Yes.
But then the fade-outs just made my brain go, and no. Again, once one fade-out happened, then the next, my brain just went, yeah, this is like a film. I'm not taking it in much anymore. So having it solidly end signals to the brain, okay, this has ended.
Yep.
Now.
Give your listener time to prepare themselves from one to another. Good.
Brain
good,
reset.
Good. Brain reset. ear palate cleansing.
Yes.
So with that, we've already gone way over. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. 70-minute, if not plus, without Dorino here. But I want to make sure to get through this audio. If you have anything that you want us to listen to, with whether it be working on a character, working on an accent, working on a demo reel, send it over. coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com or drop it in our Discord. Everybody's welcome. We try to grow as much as we can. We're very friendly, and again, this you just heard about an hour's worth of us doing what we want to do. We want to be able to help you get further in your career.
We are as invested in your journey as you are, so we want to help you improve. This is why we do this. We want to be able to be the people that can give you that criticism if you don't have anyone that you can send it to. So this is us just wanting to be good helpers. There we are.
There's more words. Words good.
We want to help. We want to help.
Yes, we spec as good as we want. Yes. If you have any questions, anything you want us to talk about, again, coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com. Come on into our Discord. Or be here when we record. We do this generally Sunday. We try to start at noon Pacific time. Or what time for Tea and Crumpets?
8 p.m. 20,000 hours.
20,000 hours. Guys, thank you so much.
That's not a time. Oh God.
Yay, we just invented time too. So for those of you who are recapping here, we've invented words, we've invented times, and some feelings too as we were going on this journey. Let's get #TimeInventor. If you use that when ordering services from either Renara or El Dorino, I'll cover $20 of your bill. Only because it first come first serve. Because I want them to get some work. So Dorino will be the person doing this next time. So thank you everybody again for those who are here. Microwaves as we exit out, please.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, and as Dorino always says, Renara,
Drink water.
there it is. Bye.
Yay. Bye.
All right, recording is stopped. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks to the lurkers that were there. I appreciate it. I'm Magmorta saying I could do medical terms only of my front office medical schooling. Gotcha. Nice.
Right.
Just saying. You've got a mic. I know you have a mic. When are you going to start doing some voice acting, Magmorta?
Fire, if you're watching this, get a fucking microphone and start, you... Because I know you want to do this. But fuck it. Sorry.
Dang it, I wasn't recording that. But you know what? It's going to be on the YouTube replay. Ha ha ha. Okay,
and it's recorded my end as well, so yeah. But still, if you want to do this, Fire, get your ass sorted. You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay, I have some cold soup I'm going to get to, so I will talk to you all later. Bye, stream.